Come and join the Play the Game forums at PlayTheGameCentral.com, the home for Call of Duty Zombies. Safe, my name is Wang Time, and welcome back to Play the Game Central, and welcome to Zombies Lore, the show where we dive deeper into the secrets of the Call of Duty Zombies universe. So my last video on the Winter's Howl, I asked for 600 likes and we smashed it, but for this video, if we could get more than 5 likes, I'd be happy with that. So in today's episode of Zombies Lore, we'll be talking about the Zombies map 5. 5 takes place at the Pentagon, which is the United States military defense building, which can be found in Arlington in Virginia. The events that unfolded here in 5 took place in around 1963. The current US President, John F. Kennedy, accompanied by Defense Minister Robert McNamara, was in the process of holding a diplomatic meeting with the President of Cuba, Fidel Castro, discussing the aftermath of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Also present at this meeting was Richard Nixon, an ex-runner for the presidency. During their meeting, they are interrupted by invading zombies. Although we assume the zombies outbreak started from within the Pentagon itself, McNamara says that the Pentagon has been breached, and Kennedy seems none too surprised about the presence of zombies. Saying that the Pentagon has been breached means that the zombies have come from the outside. Now this makes sense because at the time, the world was beginning to fall to a global zombie epidemic. Why the zombies were able to get so deep into the Pentagon without the president being alerted is questionable, but it's possible he insisted not to be disturbed in his meeting. However, that's a fact we're kind of overthinking. Although the introductory cinematic takes place in the president's office, the game starts upstairs on the ground floor, and the hidden wall containing the weapons cache in the president's room instead contains a pack-a-punch machine. So it's to be considered some elements of this map exist purely for gameplay reasons and should be considered non-canonical, even though we all know how things unfold in game are not how they unfold factually within the storyline. Underneath the main ground floor of the Pentagon is the War Room. Adjacent to that you can find the President's office, of which where the intro cinematic took place. In the hallway towards the office there is a painting of Edward Richthofen, and in a room behind that door in a locked room can be found a picture of Dempsey. Beneath the War Room was a top-secret research facility tasked with various projects including the study of the enigmatic Element 115 and the deadly Nova 6 weapon. In-game we only see a small section of these labs, and they most likely extended much further out. As you might expect, these labs were occupied by American scientists, but what you might not know is that they were also occupied by multiple ex-Group 935 members that now worked for the American government. The reason for this was the outcome of something called Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip was a real-life event where after World War II, the US government took German scientists who worked for the Nazi regime and had them develop their technology under control and the watchful eye of the US government instead. In the Zombies universe, these scientists were members of Group 935, and the US government had them continuing their research of Element 115, weapon design, teleporter technology, and reanimation, and of course the deadly Nova 6 bioweapon. One of the triumphant outcomes of this Operation Paperclip were the leaps forward in the teleportation technology. The current models of the teleporters found in the labs seem to be much smaller and more practical, and made use of an organic to digital network which literally turns organic matter into data and then transports that data to another pad. However, the teleporter systems here are all linked on a closed network, and as far as we know, do not have the ability to teleport to points that do not have teleportation pads. Although that ability with the German teleporters was only possible with etheric influence, and by the Pentagon teleporters being on a digital system might mean that the etheric influence that caused this trait may not have been able to interact with the newer teleporters. The teleporter system was named VF-114, and VF-114 was the designation of a fighter squadron of the US Navy. Once the power for the teleporter grid was activated by Kennedy and the others, it let loose a man who had the misfortune of becoming tainted by the teleporter technology and was trapped inside the computer systems for the teleporter grid. The outcome of this was obviously his insanity, now engulfed by the insatiable goal of hoarding technology and weapons, even stealing weapons straight out of the hands of the survivors. This man is not a zombie. His organic matter has been merged with the teleporter's digital systems. He is barely fazed by pain and is committed to his maniacal lust for technology, creating horrifying wails and shrieks as he relentlessly hunts and runs using the teleporter systems. And the only way to keep him contained was to turn off the teleporter grid, as while it's on, he is occasionally able to break through a containment system put in place on the grid. However, once he's grabbed the tech he wants, he will run straight back to where he thinks he belongs, in a digital realm. There is big chance that this man could very well be indeed an ex-Group 935 member, and quite possibly and more specifically, Mr. H. Porter, the creator of the Blastomatic ray gun. Scattered across the labs are remnants of both Group 935's technology and the Ascension Group's assets seized from their installations. In this room here can be found a section of Group 935's teleporter, and a nearby blastomatic ray gun being studied upon. Also seen on the Vril forced evolution pods, which explains the source of the crawlers in this area. In this room is where the weapon known as the V2 Winter's Howl was being tested and developed. The frozen walls indicate that it was a promising project. Also in a cabinet in this room can be found the Russian-made Thunder Gun. As with most of the scenes of the horror we witness, the end is never clear. Did the leaders eventually perish to the zombies? Even if they did make it out, they were most likely turned to ash sometime after, when a particular pesky German launched missiles from the moon that laid waste to our planet. However, due to past events being changed, the events that took place on this day never happened, and are just echoes of what were and could have been. And that's it for this episode about 5. If you have suggestions for something that we should cover in Zombies lore, please tell us in the comment section below, and we could make it into our next episode. But if you appreciate Zombies lore, help us get over 5 likes on this video, because it does play the game a world of good. So that's it from me today, so safe, my name is Wang Time, I live a long time, and I'll see you next time on Play the Game Central. Ta-da!